Using the MLS may seem complicated, but it's actually quite simple. Once I provide you with the user ID and password, you would simply log into the MLS and it would take you to the home page. It's actually important to realize that when you log in, you're going to go to the MLS.com. It'll take you to the login page and you simply log in. It then takes you to a home page, and in this home page it gives you a snapshot of what's been happening in the market. As you can see, there's new listings, things that have been back on the market, price increases, reductions, stuff that's gone into backup, pending, sold. It gives you a overview of what's happened in the last 24 hours in each of those respective areas. Obviously there's some membership information, but really your primary, and there's some quick links here. There's also information on pulling data on a property here in MLS Realtix. But for right now, what we're really going to try to do is just kind of get an understanding of how to do a quick search. So what we would do is we come to listing searches, this section right here in the middle, or you can come up here to search. When you hit search, you would scroll down to listing and you could go single family, for example, or condo or income. You choose ultimately the type of property that you would want to find. You could also choose residential cross property, which means that you could look for multiple types of properties in one search. For the time being, what we're going to do is do single family. We would just click here, or if we wanted to get there quicker, we could simply click here. This takes us to the residential single family search page. So as we look at this, what we often want to do is find properties that are active or available for sale. So we would simply click the button that says active, and then we would list the criteria that we're ultimately looking for. So for example, if we're looking for properties that have at least 3 bedrooms and at least 2 baths, that's how we would do it. If we wanted to set a cap on the number of bedrooms, for example, if we wanted 3 to 4 bedrooms, we'd set a cap. If we wanted to say 2 to 3 bathrooms, we'd set a cap. Otherwise, if we leave that area blank, it would go 3 and above or 2 and above. If we knew the name of the street specifically, we could input that here. If we knew the number of the address we wanted to input, we could do that here. We can also do a range of street numbers. For example, we can go 1, let's go 1015, for example, 2, 1095. Then it would give us everything on that street in that range. Or if we were looking for something specifically, if we wanted just 1015, we go to this middle box and say 1015 exactly. If we don't know the number and we're just looking for an area, you would just leave that back at 2 and you can leave that blank. You only need to type in the information that is important to you. So for example, if we wanted 3 bedroom, 2 baths, and we wanted anything above that, so we'd erase this 4 bedroom, we'd erase the 3 bedroom, and let's say we wanted it to go up to a sales price of $600,000. So we would just input 600,000. Now let's say we were looking in an area or a city like Los Angeles. Well, we'd come to the city, which is a huge city, right? Come to the city, Los Angeles, and we wouldn't want to simply go up to 600 because we'd be getting a lot of low-end properties that might not necessarily fit our criteria. So what we might want to do is look for properties that are priced between $550,000 to $600,000. That gives us a $50,000 range. That's the listing price. The selling price is the price that it actually sold for, and that's if we were looking for properties that have been sold. There's an area for the zip code. You don't need to input that unless you want to search by zip code. You can also search by MLS number. So each property in the MLS actually has a number, and you would input that number or a series of numbers if you wanted to look it up by number. APN stands for assessor's parcel number. You could input that as well. I generally don't do anything with map coordinates or map page, but that can be an area that you can search by as well. You could also say that we want anything that's above 1,000 square feet. Or, for example, we can create a range and we could say 1,000 to 1,500 square feet, or whatever number we want. If we wanted it to be exactly or more or less, we would simply scroll down here and it would determine that for us. There's some additional areas that we can fill in here. Usually I don't even go this far, but you can select things by days on the market, how much commission is being offered, if there's a guest house, if there's a specific builder or name. So we can get more specific or less specific depending on what we're looking for. We can see if the property is available through a lease option, and even things as simple as parking spaces. So if we want at least 2 parking spaces, we can come down and we can say at least 2 parking spaces. So that kind of gives you a sense. Once we've put down all of the information that we want to search by, if it needs to be at least 2 stories, for example, we could put number of stories at least 2. Once we've entered all that information, all we need to do is hit the green button here that says count. So again, we're looking for properties from 550 to 600 in the city of Los Angeles with at least 3 bedrooms, 2 baths. We are looking for properties that have at least 2 stories and 2 parking spaces. So let's see how many are available. Simply click count, and it says no properties available. And that's interesting. I bet the reason for that is that many real estate agents never input the number of stories because it's not mandatory. So if I were to erase that and do a count again, I'm sure some would come up. And here we go. 6 found. Once it's given us the count, we simply have to hit the go button and it'll take us to the search results. The initial feedback that it will give is in what they call the column view. So here it shows us that these are all active. This stands for status. It shows us the address, city, the zip code, bed bath count. Remember, we were looking for 3 or 4 bedrooms with at least 2 baths. We had a range from 1,000 to 1,500 square feet. So everything's within that range. And we had a price of 550 to 600. Here, DOM stands for days on market. Then it has the listing agent's information. Typically, what I like to do is you go to reports and you can actually view the type of report that you'd like to see. For example, I usually will select agent detail, then carrots. The reason I do that is because it'll give me all the information that I possibly could want in the listing. So I'd select that and I'd simply say view report. Once I reviewed the report, it then gives me a list of the properties with full descriptions and all the information that we might need. Here's another, and another, and so forth. So for example, this looks like this was nicely remodeled. I might be interested in learning a little bit more. So here's the remarks. It says it's located on the border of Montecito Heights and Monterey Hills. It's a short commute to downtown LA, and so forth. Then it has the private remarks. Now what the private remarks are for just real estate agents or people who are in the business. The public does not see these remarks. So for example, it says open house from July 25th and July 26th from 12 to 5. It's easy to show. There's a super lockbox on the front stair rail. There's an alarm on the property. They need us to email them for the alarm code. And then it says offers must be complete and include proof of funds, lender approval, FICOs, etc. So that's pretty cool. We also can scroll down here. You see it's only been on the market for 1 day. So this is days on market. It's been on the market for 1 day. Selling office commissions 3%. So most of the time it's anywhere between 2.5 to 3. Sometimes it's as low as 2. but this is helpful for us because that's how we get paid on these situations. If we wanted to look at the pictures, we would simply either click the photo or hit additional photos. The pictures would load, and then we can scroll through the pictures like this. This is actually a property that looks like it was remodeled, fixed, and staged for sale. Really nicely done, and I'm sure somebody's going to make a nice profit on this. Anyway, if we wanted to contact the agent directly, we would come down here and we'd look for their information. This agent's with Century 21 All-Stars. His name's Hector Naraha, Najera, rather, Najera. And this is his phone number, his email address, and this is how we would contact him. The MLS number can be found right here. The APN number stands for Assessor's Parcel Number. That's kind of like the unique ID of the property, and that can be found here. So that is how you would do a search on the MLS. Thanks for your time, and we'll look forward to giving you a more expansive perspective on how to search the MLS.